In this lecture, we are continuing on in our project of building an NFT minting dapp with Truffle, Solidity, OpenZeppelin, and React. Before we jump into this video, check out our Kickstarter that's happening now, Hello Coding 4.0. You can pledge and get tons of content all about blockchain and more. Previously, we built a new React project from scratch and a new Truffle project in the React project. In this lecture, we're going to build a smart contract for minting NFTs. So join me in your code editor, and we're going to create a new contract under contracts. We're going to hit the plus button to make a new file, and let's create a color token.solidity file. At the top of the file, we have to specify our license for the file, the SPDX license identifier. We're going to choose MIT license. Then we're going to specify the Solidity version, so we can use here Pragma Solidity 0.8.11 and higher. And just make sure you spell Pragma correctly. All right, there we go. So now we've specified the license type and the Solidity version minimum. Then we're going to import from OpenZeppelin a blueprint for our contract. So I'm going to go into @OpenZeppelin/contract/ERC721/ERC721.solidity. So this is a file that contains a standard for an NFT token. Then we'll create a new contract called color token, and we'll specify that it is an ERC721 type. So that's the parent of the contract. And we can hover over this, and currently we'll get the message that the contract should be marked as abstract because it doesn't have a constructor and it doesn't implement all of the requirements from ERC721. But let's add in a constructor here. For the ERC721, we have to pass in the name of the NFT and as well a symbol for it as our two arguments for the ERC721 constructor. Then we're going to set an owner to equal the sender of the message. So we're going to create an address public called owner to find out who owns this NFT. All right, now we have no complaints because we have a constructor, and that constructor is calling the parent, which is ERC721, the standard for the NFT type. Then I'm going to create a uint256 called token ID and start it off at 1. Then every time we create a new token, we'll increase the token ID. We're also going to have a color list called all tokens. So we have to create a type called color, but that will create a struct. Each of our colors will have a token ID as well as a token name and an owner. All right, so every time we create a color token, we have to specify these three properties of it. Then we'll have a list to keep track of all of them. We have currently here some addresses, uint256s, and our own custom type. We're also going to create a mapping where we map an address to a color list. This is going to be called token address, and it will allow us to find out all of the tokens owned by one address. Then we'll have a mapping of a string to a boolean, and that will be called token exists. So this will check if a token already exists, because if it does, we shouldn't create it a second time. Then we're going to have some functions. For example, a function to get all tokens. This will be a public view function that returns a color list, that returns a value and then takes in a color list in memory. We're going to return all of the tokens, which is our list of colors. We'll also have a function called getMyTokens. This is going to be a public view, and it's going to return a color list in memory. And here we're going to return our token address at the message.sender. So it will return all of the colors owned by the sender, whereas the first returns just all of the tokens available. All right, and both of them return a list of colors. One more function that we need is for the actual minting. So let's create a function called mint token. This will take in a string call data token name, and it will be public and payable. In here, we're going to require that the token is unique. If we want to mint a token, we have to make sure that it doesn't already exist. So we go into token exists at the token name input, and we check if it already exists. If it does, then we're going to print token already exists. So we're requiring that the token does not already exist. If so, we can continue with a safe mint, which is a function that comes from the ERC 721 parent. We can call all tokens and push a color containing our current token ID, our current token name, and the owner is whoever sent the message. Then we have to update our token addresses at the message.sender and push in a new color that represents the NFT that was just minted. So we need the 3 arguments that it expects, which are the token ID, the token name, and the message.sender. So those 3 were expected for the color type. Then we are going to update token exists as well at the current token name, because now it actually does exist, so we have to set that to true. And we're going to increase the token ID so that way each NFT has a unique ID. And that is how we can build out a smart contract for minting NFTs. One tip, if you get an error message in your file saying that something's not supported, like the import keyword, then just close and reopen the file because sometimes there can be a lag. Okay, next we're going to set where our contracts build our artifacts. Because by default, anytime you compile a contract, the compiled contract is going to be outputted into a build/contracts folder relative to the project root. But if we want our website to be more dynamic, we want our builds to go automatically to the front end. So I'm going to go into the source folder and I want all of my compiled contracts to show up here in the source folder because this is the front end. And this folder cannot interact with anything outside of it. So we have to push our compiled contracts into the source folder. To do that, all we have to do is go into truffle-config.js. And here in our module.exports, we're going to add the property contracts build directory, and we're going to set a custom build directory, such as the source folder /artifacts/contracts. So this is all relevant to the current file. We're going to go into the current folder and then go into source and then artifacts and then contracts. And this is all relative to the file truffle-config.js because that's where the code is written. So now if you compile your contract, it's actually going to appear inside of source/artifacts/contracts. And we can test that out now or later. We can deploy the smart contract. For that, we would have to write a deployment script. So we'll do that later on. If, for example, your line doesn't work or you forget to add this, then your contracts will just appear in the root folder. They won't appear in the source folder. By default, they'll just appear in the root folder of the Truffle project. Coming up next, we're going to build the React front end for our decentralized application. We'll have to initialize our Web3 in React. We'll have to build the front end minting functionality and then enable user interaction. So join me in our next section.
Don't forget to check out our Kickstarter Hello Coding 4.0, first link in the description.